How the hell can a 25-year-old live on 52 million? This is... There were plumbers. He told me he was 94. Oh, come on. Don't worry. Hold out. Just don't look.
I mustn't mention Mel Gibson this year. Not his private life, his politics.
Well, if you'd left your drink, you don't need to leave your drink.
Please welcome Ashton Kutcher's dad, Bruce Willis. Give me the... Thank you.
He has made a career out of winding people up in everything, from The Office to his Golden Globe speeches. But is the comedian's bark worse than his bite? Number 10. Jennifer Lawrence. Ricky Gervais has a memorable monologue at the Golden Globe Awards, where he often mocks and pokes fun at actors who catch his eye. Gervais compared Jennifer Lawrence to the X-Men star in 2016, who raised the issue of the gender pay gap in 2015. The hall was filled with applause and cheer for the mother star, but Gervais quickly turned into laughter when he mentioned that Lawrence was paid the same as Tina and Amy last year.
Jennifer Lawrence made the news when she demanded equal pay for women in Hollywood. And how the hell can a 25-year-old live on 52 million? This is... There were plumbers around the world going...
He then argued that it was not his fault if they wanted to share the money, as it was their stupid fault. Although not everyone liked the joke and faced criticism, people were happy to see that Gervais' sarcasm wasn't gender-based. Jennifer Lawrence raised the issue of gender pay inequality after starring in the 2013 film American Hustle, where she received considerably less than her male co-star. Number 9. Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner has responded to Ricky Gervais' jibes about him at the Golden Globes, referring to his engagement to girlfriend Crystal Harris. Gervais jokingly compared Hefner to The Walking Dead, stating that Hefner lied about his age when asked why she was marrying him. Hefner, who announced his engagement to Harris on Twitter, praised the event and its fun atmosphere. Hefner also criticized the jokes about age, stating that age is just a number and that love is a person, not an age.
Congratulations to Hugh Hefner, who's getting married at the age of 84 to 24-year-old. He told me he was 94. Oh, come on. Don't worry. Hold out. Just don't look.
Hefner announced his engagement to Harris on Christmas Day, joking that she didn't notice their age difference and that it is her who needs to keep up with him. Number 8. Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster's sexuality has been a long-standing rumor in Hollywood, with rumors suggesting she may be a lesbian. Ricky Gervais outed her at the Golden Globes, mentioning her in a list of topics he was not allowed to discuss. Gervais criticized Mel Gibson for not discussing his private life, politics, recent films, or her film, The Beaver. He also mentioned that he hasn't seen the film herself, but doesn't necessarily mean it's not good.
His recent films, and especially not Jodie Foster's Beaver. I mustn't mention Mel Gibson this year. Not his private life, his politics. I haven't seen it myself. I've spoken to a lot of guys here, they haven't seen it either, but...
Foster, despite her two sons listening to the speech, smiled broadly and gave Gervais a thumbs-up sign. Number 7. Brad and Angelina's Little Presenters. By 2016, countless jokes had already been made about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's history with adoption. Thus, when Gervais prepared to introduce the next presents as these little presenters weren't child stars as one might be led to believe, but Kevin Hart and Ken Jeong, who aren't exactly the tallest man in Hollywood. It may have been a low blow, sorry, poor choice of words, but Gervais did cleverly catch the audience off guard and ultimately managed to insult 4 people at once. From a trolling perspective, that's pretty impressive. Number 6. Mel Gibson versus Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais' first Golden Globes hosting gig saw him delivering a memorable joke that wasn't even part of his monologue. In the midst of the ceremony, Gervais quipped, "I hope I haven't offended anyone. It's not my fault. I like a drink as much as the next man, unless the next man is Mel Gibson." The following year, he closed his monologue with yet another joke about Gibson, saying, "Our first presenter is beautiful, talented, and Jewish apparently. Mel Gibson told me that. He's obsessed." Several years later, Gervais and Gibson shared the Golden Globe stage in an attempt at celebrity image rehabilitation, but the outcome garnered mixed reactions from the media.
Joke about Mel Gibson getting a bit drunk and saying a few unsavoury things in the awkward position of having to introduce him again. it, right? Mel's forgotten all about it, apparently. That's what drinking does. No, I'd rather have a drink with him in his hotel room tonight than with Bill Cosby.
While introducing Gibson, Gervais acknowledged their past interactions, humorously blaming NBC for the situation and alluding to Gibson's feelings about the matter. Gervais admitting feeling somewhat remorseful for the jokes he had previously made at Gibson's expense, suggesting that Gibson had moved on, likely due to his drinking habits. Gervais playfully quipped that he would prefer to share a drink with Gibson in his hotel room rather than with Bill Cosby. The interaction culminated in an uncomfortable onstage embrace.
Listen, I'm sure it's embarrassing for both of us, okay? And I blame NBC. I want to say something nice about Mal before he comes out.
Once every 3 years, because it reminds me to get a colonoscopy. Well, if you'd left your drink, you don't need to leave your drink.
Number 5. Ashton Kutcher's dad. Bruce Willis will always be remembered for his performances in Die Hard, The Sixth Sense, and Pulp Fiction. But which film does Ricky bring up in his career highlights? And at the icing on the cake, as we all know, Willis and Kutcher aren't father and son, but they were both married to Demi Moore. The age difference between Kutcher and Moore was a frequent source of satire throughout their relationship, although it was Willis who got caught in the crossfire here.
You know our next presenter from such films as Hudson Hawk. Please welcome Ashton Kutcher's dad, Bruce Willis.
Willis more or less shrugged it off, but we can imagine what he was thinking based on the glance he sent Ricky. Number 4. Leonardo DiCaprio. Ricky Gervais used his Golden Globes opening monologue to joke about Leonardo DiCaprio's dating younger women. Gervais started by mentioning Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which stars DiCaprio alongside Brad Pitt. DiCaprio attended the premiere and found his date too old for him. Gervais then went on to joke that even Prince Andrew was referring to DiCaprio's age, a reference to the royals' embroilment in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. DiCaprio, 45, is currently dating 22-year-old model Camila Morrone, who is the same age as his movie Titanic.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long. Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by even Prince Andrew's like, come on, Leo, mate, you know. You're nearly 50, son.
Gervais insulted most of Hollywood before concluding that if an A-lister wins an award, they should not use it as a platform to make a political speech. He warned that most of them spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. Gervais advised the winners to accept their award, thank their agent and God, and then move on. Number 3. Caitlyn Jenner. Following a 4-year hiatus, Gervais returned to host the Globes with a beer by his side and a lot of pent-up insults. Throughout his open monologue, Gervais sounded like a kid who just got released from timeout, saying that he tried to be nice. Naturally, it didn't take long for Gervais to break this promise, diving head first into a Caitlyn Jenner joke.
Obviously. Now Caitlyn Jenner, of course. What a year she's on barriers and destroying stereotypes. She didn't do a lot for women drivers, but
Gervais is referring to Jenner's car accident with Kim Howe, who died as a result of the crash. It wasn't a very nice comment, but it's a decent closest you're gonna get with Ricky. Number 2. Mocking Steve Carell. Steve Carell, best known for his portrayal of Michael Scott in NBC's The Office, turns 59 today. Ricky Gervais, a comedian, writer, director, and actor, often reminds Carell of his success and career. During the 59th Primetime Emmy Awards in 2007, Gervais was awarded an Emmy for his performance in BBC HBO sitcom Extras. However, presenters Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert announced the award, and Carell accepted the trophy. The three hugged and shouted with joy, presumably to rub it in Ricky's face. During the next year's Emmys, Ricky was a presenter and showed the clip of Steve, John, and Steven celebrating. He joked about Gervais's face and claimed that he stole someone else's Emmy, implying that it was a shoddy remake. He then found Carell in the audience and threatened to tickle him, but Carell eventually pulled back his trophy. This exchange was better than most sitcoms can manage.
remake of a show that I created called The Office. He's now leaving that show. Carell did it all. Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he, Steve Carell? He's a... Let's pay...
I'll tickle you. I don't care. I've got nothing to lose here. I'm a nobody here. Where is it?
On the auto cue. I can do anything. This is live.
Despite this, it is a tragedy that Carell did not win an Emmy for his comedic performances in The Office, which is undoubtedly one of the best comedic performances in television.
Star in her own show, 30 Rock. He was a jobbing actor. Steve Carell is considered handsome. Think of that!
Without it.
Where is he? Oh, there in the front row. Just... Town yet? No. I sat through Heaven Almighty. Give me my Emmy. Give me the... Thank you.
Number 1. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. Ironically, we're kicking off this list of insults with a compliment, albeit a backhanded one. The same year Toy Story 3 won Best Animated Feature, Gervais introduced the voices of Woody and Buzz Lightyear, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. Gervais singles out Hanks as a major box office draw, a magnet for accolades, and an acting chameleon. Ah, that's nice.
The first is an actor, producer, writer, and director whose movies have grossed over Forrest Gump, Castaway, Apollo 13, and Saving Private Ryan.
Recall back when Ricky Gervais was a slightly chubby but very kind comedian.
So, what does he say about Allen? That's it? Ouch. To be fair, Allen actually has a Golden Globe and several commercial successes under his belt. So when stacked up against Hanks, Gervais just isn't that impressed by Tim the Toolman. Of course, Hanks and Allen weren't afraid to fire back at Gervais. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.